Hello, I'm George, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about my preparation to learn some languages. I'm studying Russian already, but I've picked out 9 other languages I'm interested in. I'm going to study just a little bit of each one until I narrow it down and decide which is the most important. And I'll do that as I study each language. Uh, so, one of the books I'm reading right now is The Language Instinct by Steven Pinker. And this is getting down, this is drilling down to underneath grammar, underneath words, to the instincts of how we put words and sounds together, and some of the rules on how we put those sounds together and the ideas. And one of the interesting things, I've only read up I think 100 pages today, 175 pages today, but one of the interesting things he talks about is how thoughts are discrete, like digital, whereas sound is analog, that we have to produce in order to put that thought into somebody else's mind. So I'm coming up with a strategy here on how to study, and let me switch my camera now to my language skills page. Okay, here's my language skills page, and there's 4 areas of language skills to master. Sound is one of them, which is listening and speaking, and text is reading and writing. The input skills are listening and reading, and the output skills are speaking and writing. Now, under the sound, under listening, one of the things I do is comprehensible input, and that is YouTube videos that start out with a very easy words. Like the person talking may point to a book and say the word for book in that language, whatever language it is, and that's a comprehensible kind of input because you understand the message, and you hear the word for it. The other thing I'm doing with listening is using Pimsleur, and these are some of my languages, but let's see. Well, I have some Russian, but I have a lot more Russian in another place. Modern Greek, Tagalog's on order, Spanish, French is on order, Italian's on order. All these should come in this week. German's on order, Japanese I have, Korean's on order. Hebrew I have, and then I have some other ones that I'm not so interested in, but I already have them: Mandarin, Cantonese, and Farsi. Maybe I'll get Arabic. Now the good thing about Pimsleur is you're actually using both of these. You're listening to the CD, and then you're repeating and speaking the language also. So some people say that if you're learning a language that has a difficult text, for instance Japanese, that you should just do this side for 6 months. You're listening and you're speaking, and then get into the text after about 6 months. Other people think that you should get into the text immediately. For Russian, Even though some people think it's a difficult script, I didn't have any problem with it. And I immediately got into the reading and the writing in Russian. Okay, the other thing for sound is movies and news. And I like watching news, and so you need to watch something that you like, something that's interesting to you that is in the language. So that way you're going to want to watch it more. Now, speaking, for one thing, Pimsleur, repeating with the CDs, that you're going to be speaking. But before I do that, I like to get the pronunciations down in the language. And so I like to study the actual, not words, but the phonemes, the actual sounds that are made in that language, and compare those sounds to the script for that language, to the alphabet for that language. And the best way to do that is mimic method, at least for the sounds of the phonemes, maybe not for the script, but for the sounds, the mimic method is absolutely great. And I don't remember the guy's name that put that together, but he's on YouTube, and he has his own website, and he's a musician, and he uses his musical ear in order to explain how to put your tongue in your mouth and how to shape what you need, how to make the sounds. Okay, and so I think that's pretty good for there. The other thing is talking to a tutor, and you're going to get into both of these when you talk to the tutor. You're going to be listening to your tutor, and you're going to be talking to your tutor. I have I don't know, 20 different Russian tutors over the last year, and the tutors cost anywhere from $5 an hour to $10 or $12 an hour on italki. Very, very inexpensive, and very worth it. Very worth it. My plan for these languages, as I am studying all of these different languages, is to speak to one tutor a week in each language. And then I'm going to cut some of those languages out as I go, but I don't know which ones yet. Okay. Another thing that I absolutely love doing is writing the songs down. Find songs in the language that you like and write them down. And so, because you're writing, then, let me show you some of my. So here's an example of some songs in Russian. Okay, and I write the song down, and then I write immediately under each word the translation in English, and I put the red things are the guitar tabs, so I could play it on the guitar. Now, the cool thing about singing songs is that you're kind of in all this area, every one of them, because I'm writing the song down, I'm reading it as I sing it, I'm listening to it on YouTube or wherever I'm listening to the song at the same time that I'm singing it. So I kind of hit everything there. Another thing I do is, let's talk about text, reading. I like children's books to start with. It's more comprehensible input. I mean, here is an Italian cat in a hat. These are absolutely fun. They're fun to do, or fun to read, and it's enjoyable. Even though it's still not real easy when you start, but it's fun. Besides children's book, then I get conversational books, conversational dialogues. Like here's one in French. And every language I have a conversational dialogue book. And then I have a short stories book. Now here's one in Tagalog. Short stories for beginners. And so that's my input. Oh, and the one other thing I do is now those are the easier readings, but then I also have one very difficult book, usually in each language. Like in Russian, I have Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment in Russian, which is a very difficult read. Or I have in German Beyond Good and Evil. It's the English-German version of Nietzsche's book. Or let's see, in Spanish I got Don Quixote. And these are books that I would love to read in the original language. So, and I have some others too, but that gives you an idea. Let's see. Now, in writing, I have a journal. For every language, I have a journal. Here are my language journals. And in those journals, I write in notes, and I write in that language. Also, I have what I call warrior ethos, and it's a list of 50 sentences that I ascribe to, quotes that I really believe in, that by famous people in history, or my values in quotes. And I try to read those as often as I can, but each of those I transcribe or I translate into the language I'm learning. Same with my affirmations. I have a slideshow of all my affirmations. I have about 100 affirmations, and so I've translated all my affirmations into Russian. And one of the things I do in the affirmations is not just say what it is that I am, but also try to have a feeling word or an emotional word in that affirmation also. So I'm learning the words for different emotions and feelings at the same time. And I try to read my affirmations as often as I can. I would like to do it daily. Don't always get to it, but I'd like to. So that's pretty much my plan right now. There's some other skills like Robin McPherson. Well, let me turn this around and we'll talk. Okay, there's some other skills. A YouTuber named Robin McPherson talks about soft skills in language learning that a lot of other people don't talk about, and he says one of the skills for language learning is being able to be in a stressful situation with that language, being comfortable with ambiguity and not understanding everything that's being said, but still trying to follow the conversation or what's going on. And I think you can get a lot of that by listening to the news. Recognizing key words in what people are saying to you is another soft skill, he says. Understanding subtle body language to help you follow the conversation when you don't know what all the words are. And another skill would be switching languages from one language to another. Some people have a lot of trouble when they switch languages. We don't think, though, in any particular language. One of the things I was learning in Language Instinct is that our thoughts are not really in our language. If we think about our thoughts and how to say them, we might, or how to write them, then we might put them into language, or we'll put them into language. But before, just when we're having a thought, we're having an idea. And that's not necessarily anything to do with language. All right. That's my plan. I think. Let me know what you think.